Sharren Haskel is a member of parliament in the Knesset in Jerusalem. She joins me on the broadcast. Sharren Haskel, Gaza authorities say the death toll has now crossed 10,000 and Israel is being accused of a genocidal attack on the Gaza Strip, with civilian areas now directly in the line of fire. Will Israel permit a pause?
Well, I never heard such accusations, and it's very far from the reality. Truth is that Hamas had entered towns and massacred entire families and burned down. Hamas has targeted Jews particularly, and is still targeting Jews. I mean, if you look on the intentions of genocide, look on Hamas platform where it is written that they will not stop until the full annihilation of the state of Israel and the Jewish people. I mean, do you know that there isn't a single Jewish citizen in Gaza? Okay. There isn't a single Jewish citizen in the Palestinian Authority. Actually, if you want to buy property and any Palestinians will be caught selling a Jew a property, they are risking the death penalty. So,
but what I want to understand from you, ma'am, what I want to understand from you, Sharren Haskel, what are Israel's conditions to agree to a pause? What, according to you, to the Israeli government, is the roadmap for a ceasefire?
We can stop the fights today, actually even yesterday, and we said that. As soon as Hamas bring us back all of our hostages and surrender, this thing will be behind us. Unfortunately, Hamas doesn't care for the life of Israeli, and it doesn't care for the lives of the Palestinians either. I mean, they're holding them as hostages in Gaza. They are shooting rockets from dense populated areas, from schools, from hospitals. Just yesterday, the army released footage of rocket launchers from inside a branch of a children's scout. The facility of the children's scouts was actually a front for Hamas, who took over it in order to shoot hundreds of rockets just from there. So they are using their population, their children, as human shields in this fight. Now,
so
if you
what
look
you are saying, ma'am, what you are saying is, the moment hostages are released, your bombing will stop. Israel's bombing will stop. 1 month into these operations, has Israel reached any of the milestones in Israel's war to decimate Hamas?
Well, you know, unfortunately, Hamas is hiding and and their bunkers and ammunitions are under places like schools and hospitals and dense populated areas. So we can't just attack it. We have to surgically go in order to basically eliminate their facilities, their infrastructure, their ammunition. I mean, this has taken time because we don't want, or we try to get at least the least possible casualties who are not involved with Hamas, and unfortunately that takes time. It takes longer, than just act in a manner that the Israeli army doesn't do.
So Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, he's addressed about 80 diplomats from different countries in Israel, and he says if Israel fails, Europe is the next target. Is that fear-mongering, or is this based on some assessment, ma'am?
Fact is that radical Islam is something that is more and more common and is taking over in different parts of the Western world. When you see people that are marching and chanting in support of Hamas, in support of massacres in Europe and in America, you understand that the threat is very close. I mean, Hamas is not, is not fighting a territorial war. This is a battalion of army run by Iran. Iran is the one that is instigating most of this violence. Hezbollah, that's another battalion of the army of Iran. same as the Houthis and same in Iraq
Okay.
and in Syria. They have battalions in different countries who are ready to fight, kill, and even commit suicide as long as they're fulfilling the goals of radical Islam. And that's what we've seen here on the 7th of October. This attack was an attack by Iran. They were trained in Iran, their army, their weapons were from Iran. You even heard in some of the social media videos, people speak in Gaza in Farsi. So you understand that there are people on the ground. Now, Iran is not hiding its goal. There have been multiple terrorist attacks who were prevented on European soil, and some that unfortunately we weren't able to stop them ahead of time.
No, but what you are saying, ma'am, okay, what you're saying is Israel is the victim, but protests, whether these protests are taking place in Europe or in the United States of America, major parts of the civil society, including academics, students, they look at Israel as the aggressor. Many seem to be, thinking Hamas and Palestine perhaps are the same.
If you look on the map, you already have Hezbollah bases in Central and South America. Obviously, not all of them are like that. There are many protests who want and protect and are demonstrating as pro-Palestinians. But in there, you see people who are violently rioting and calling for an international intifada. What does it mean, international intifada? It means the massacre, butchering, murdering infidels. And who are the infidels? Anyone who is not Muslims or Muslim as they are. And so those calling and those chants of a global intifada, that's what it means. And I understand, and obviously not everybody are like that, but they are dragged into the story as well. And that's why you see more and more leaders of the free world, of people who believe in those mutual values of liberty, of freedom, of equality, the sanctity of life, are all backing up Israel, because they understand that this is not just a local conflict, but this is somewhat of a clash of civilization in a much wider conflict against radical Islam.
You're saying it's a clash of civilizations. It's a clash. Can you explain why you believe this is a clash of civilizations, Sharren Haskel?
What I'm saying, it's not a local territorial conflict. This is, in fact, radical Islam operated by Iran, funded by Iran, supported by Iran, trained by Iran. Exactly the same as Hezbollah is an army trained and operating by Iran. Same as the Houthis. I mean, everybody knows, why the hell would the Houthi from Yemen shoot missiles towards Israel as they've done in recent months? How is Syria at any kind, in this deal as well? Can you explain to me how come 28, and these are actual facts, 28 American bases in Iran, in Iraq, and in Syria have been attacked by the Iranian militias? So you understand that we are right now in a global conflict of radical Islam. And you see the roots also in different countries.
So you're looking at this as a global conflict with radical Islamist terror. We'll track that story very closely. Sharren Haskel for joining me here on India Today. Many thanks.